Hello everyone, welcome back to Yield Today with Dallin Candlin. Today we're going to be talking about sacrifices and three really powerful things that sacrifices say that we should be listening to. As always, as the podcast is helpful for you, I would love if you followed the podcast and followed along on this journey about digging deep into your life and learning the most from each day and each moment and each opportunity so you can bless others and also be able to help out yourself. So those three things are: one, I put in effort for you; two, I want you to grow; and three, I'm looking at the long-term perspective. So if number one, I'm putting in effort for you, this comes from this really powerful quote that I really like. It just says that privileges reflect effort. And so to have all the privileges you have, whether it's riding a school bus, going to college, starting a business, there was somebody who put in the sweat equity so you could have all of those amazing privileges. They didn't come for free. It required some kind of pain, some kind of price that was paid for you so you could have all those privileges that you have. And this is something that I've really come to realize lately, is just like how if it hadn't been for my parents and for so many other wonderful people helping me out and inspiring me along the way, I wouldn't be doing this podcast. I probably wouldn't be in college. My life would be completely different. But because of the sacrifices that are continued to be made on my behalf, I have these wonderful privileges and opportunities. I have these privileges that, if I make the most of them, will lead to many more opportunities. That's a big blessing. Number two is I want you to grow. And this comes from one of my friends, Thomas Champa, who I had on the podcast a while ago. He said that the sacrifices are the reason that you keep growing. And it makes me think because, right now my parents are still working and they're doing what they can to help me and my brother James out in college. And it's true, like their sacrifices are helping them to reach out to us, not just in a financial way, but just in however they can reach out to us. And so they're able to help us out even though they're on the other side of the country right now. They're able to help us out and they want us to grow. They don't want us to sell ourselves short. They're making these giant sacrifices of time and of, their pleasures, these different things, so that me and my brother have the best chance, and the rest of my siblings have the best chance we have to grow and to rise up and to live up to our potential. This is just a pattern that I've seen over and over again in my life, is all those sacrifices my parents have made for me, whether it was driving me to track practice or whatever it might have been, staying up with me to help me with a project back in the earlier days. It was all because their sacrifices all said, A, we love you, and B, we want you to grow. We don't want you to be stuck where you're at. We want you to build up from where you're at so you can build up and bless others, because at some point we're not going to be here. We're not going to be able to make as many sacrifices as we're making right now. So you need to take these as an investment and run with it and go for it, because these sacrifices are priceless. Because even though maybe it's not a ton of money or whatever it might be, but the amount of time and everything like that was sacrificed for that thing is much more valuable than the actual currency is valued. There's a heart currency involved. There's all these other parts of the equation that are important to keep in mind. And so that's what all of these sacrifices for you are saying, that I want you to grow. And whoever it is, your teachers probably have made some sacrifices for you, maybe a sibling, somebody has stuck out their neck so you could grow and become a little bit better and ultimately get to where you are today. And that's something I'm really trying to be thankful for. Is, I'm kind of going through a rough time right now, but there have been so many people that have been so generous with their time and everything like that. And I'm so thankful for that, because it's helped me get to where I'm at now and to have all the thoughts about life I have right now. And things are pretty good, and I'm thankful for that. So the sacrifices really do say, I want you to grow. The third thing that the sacrifices are saying to you is that I'm looking at the big picture. I think this is huge because right now I have a lot of free time and I need to be using that time to study, but sometimes I will sacrifice the study time and just kind of, read books or whatever. And those things aren't bad, but I need to make sure that I am making sacrifices that are for my long term posterity and future like that. I think of it like my future posterity. A lot of the privileges they have will be because of effort that I put in and didn't put in. And also that I do want them to grow. I want them to be able to follow their dreams like my parents have sacrificed, so I could do that for myself. And also that I am looking at the bigger picture for them. I am willing to go without video games for a month or two so I can finish a book. And that's a pattern of sacrifice that will help me to grow and become a better person and ultimately become a better husband and father, is if I'm able to sacrifice those things of the world that really don't matter that much at all in the long-term perspective. The thing that really matters is that I'm able to be a good provider and able to help out, my future kids, future business partners, or everything like that, that I'm able to help them out. And so that I'm willing to sacrifice these different things so that they can grow, so that they can progress, so that they can live their best lives too. Because at some point, I will not be here. And this has been impressed on my mind a number of times when it comes to jobs, when it comes to school, when it comes to even just like a little meeting I was at, like a little party. It's just like, I'm not going to be here forever. I have a place to go. And the same thing goes with life. I will not be here forever. And so I need to make the most of my time. And for me, one of the best things I've learned to make the most of my time is to be willing to make those little sacrifices that are going to pay off in the long-term perspective. And that is a humbling thing. It's a hard thing, but it is something that I've been practicing and relearning and trying over and over again. And it's going to help me get somewhere. And hopefully it'll help all the people that follow after me to get somewhere too. So that's just some of the quick thoughts on my mind about sacrifice. It's a very powerful, sacred thing. Honestly, that's what the word sacrifice comes from, is like to make holy, to consecrate, to give this part of you for this greater good, because you just want so badly for that other person to have that privilege or that growth or that future, that you want that so badly for them. You are willing to go without sugar or whatever. This can be applied to so many different ways. Maybe somebody will go without video games so they can be there more for their kids. Maybe somebody will go without sugar so they can be there for their kids and, have good health. Whatever it might look like, sacrifices are really powerful and they do change lives, and it's definitely changed mine, being willing to let go of some of those things so I can hold on to the best things that will benefit those who follow after me the most. That's my hope. So as always, I really hope that this podcast was helpful for you, gave you some perspective on life, helped you learn a little bit about sacrifices and how thankful I am for the sacrifices that have been made on my behalf, and my desire to continue to make sacrifices that will help out you guys and also my future posterity and everything in the future, because it's coming at some point and we need to be ready, and we need to have an abundant amount of love and preparation and stuff already put in. And a lot of that will come from making those small sacrifices that will lead to the bigger ones that will help me to have greater joy. And I think it kind of comes back to being able to choose those battles, know which battles are willing to fight, and just keeping that big perspective in mind, remembering all that stuff you've done. Obviously, you need to keep having fun. I'm not going to change as far as like my morals are concerned or anything like that, but I do want to make sure that I'm present and that I'm able to help people, and that comes from preparing and planning ahead and sacrificing time playing video games for working on homework or things of that nature. So as a quick little fist bump to you over the airwaves of audio, I just wanted to say all of your sacrifices are going to help you get to where you want to be. And if there's some place you want to be that you're not that you're not at yet, you can make a small sacrifice today that will help you get on a trajectory. So in a direction that is going to eventually help you get there. So that's my little message for today, and thank you so much for listening. As always, we have an interview coming up on Monday, so that will be awesome. And just thank you so much for listening as always. So thank you so much again, and don't forget to yield today, and it will be a better tomorrow.